Hello and welcome to another episode of Last Week in Localization, the show where we talk about the latest from the world of localization, whether that is research, events, news, or whatever else happened last week that we find important. My name is Sarah Hickey and I'm your host. We usually come to you live every Monday at 6 p.m. Central European time or 9 a.m. if you're on the west coast of the United States. But this week, this video is actually pre-recorded because I have a conflict, but I didn't want to leave you hanging. So we did our best to prep this in advance. And today I have another one of my wonderful colleagues with me, my colleague Marek. Hi, Marek.
Hello, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. So, what are we talking about, Marek?
We're going to speak about referral selling, quite a hot topic in the world of language service providers.
That's super interesting. And to me, I'm not a salesperson at all. I mean, I know we say we're all in sales to a certain degree, right? In a company, everyone's somewhat in sales. But I mean, I have never had any formal sales training. So this is great for me because there's a lot that you can teach me. Maybe actually the whole reason we're talking today as well is because you have an e-learning course coming out on our Nimdzi Learning website. This is the link where it's coming out. And maybe we should just kick it off with the introduction video that you recorded for your course. And then afterwards, we delve deeper into the topic.
Perfect.
The whole world has appeared in the same online room, along with the decision makers. The good news is they are easier to reach than ever before. However, in order to initiate that meaningful conversation and establish a rapport, you will need to hone your ability to stand out from the crowd and build trust and credibility quickly. How do you do that? Personal introductions in the form of referrals is the way to establish rapport not only quickly, but most importantly, with the clients that you really want to work with. Hi, my name is Marek, and I'm passionate about developing meaningful relationships, connecting people, and creating mutually beneficial business opportunities. Based on my own experience, I came to believe that referral selling could be and should be the #1 outbound sales strategy for any business, especially businesses that sell credential goods or services just like the majority of all of us do in the language services industry. If you're looking to ensure only qualified leads in your sales pipeline to shorten the sales cycle and attract your dream clients, then your timing couldn't be better for adopting a referral selling approach. It's never too late to start with anything if we start immediately. Are you ready to adopt your new mindset, learn new skills, and take your career in sales to the next level? Then it's my pleasure to accompany you in this course on referral selling.
Very nice. Okay, Marek, that was a nice introduction. Now, in your own words, what exactly is referral selling?
Referral selling is simply receiving an introduction to your target prospect. That's one sentence answer. It's simple as that, but it's not easy. Often we need to have certain ingredients ready, and what makes it difficult is that most of the salespeople don't have these ready and don't really have the skill developed for asking the referrals. It's a real skill, and it can be developed, it can be practiced, and everybody can master it. Mm-hmm. That's a great thing about that. That's why we've developed this course to help not only sales professionals, but really anyone who is in a client-facing role to adopt this technique to bring in new opportunities.
Okay, and so what are some of the questions that people should be asking, or maybe we should actually back up a little bit before we ask that question. I'm realizing, so what is the value that this particular type of selling brings over maybe other types of selling, or is it just another method that you can use?
Well, that's a great question to start with, and obviously, first, what are the benefits? Why should we even care about referral selling? Well, there are, I think, three reasons why. Well, first, it helps to bring in qualified leads for the company. Second, it helps to shorten the sales cycle, and third, it helps to really attract the ideal clients, the clients that you would love to work with. So these are the three key benefits.
Okay, and how? Like I know nothing about sales. So how long is the sales cycle usually in our industry? Actually, in the localization industry, I should say.
Good question. It can be well, for instance, from my experience when I was working for the translation technology provider, doing a B2B sales, working with enterprises, it would be on average 12 to even 16 months to make a sale. So one has to be pretty patient. But with referral selling, things can really speed up. Why? Well, you use your network basically to help pre-qualify the right people that you should spend time with, really. Also, my challenge when I was in sales was that I just spent majority of the time with the wrong people, or with actually not the wrong people. The people were great, but I was not a good fit for them. And that's where actually majority of salespeople, over 2/3 of their work times, they spend prospecting and trying to find really who those ideal clients are. And I think, and the referral selling is a proven prospecting technique that can basically alleviate all these challenges with prospecting. So in a nutshell, referral selling is a prospecting technique where you use your network, use your referral sources to help you identify your ideal clients. And really, what you need for that is basically having somebody who is your referral source. So ideally, that's a person who you have a personal relationship with, somebody who you can trust. That person trusts you, and therefore you can ask for help. What is important to say is that referrals happen, or the referrals that we teach happen out of the good of person's heart. So there is no incentives, no vouchers, no Starbucks coupons. Really, it's a friendly help, asking for introduction. So the first assumption is that really you have somebody who you can ask for help. That's why genuine relationships are super important for, I think, not only salespeople, but really everybody, of course. But this is essential for referral selling.
Yeah. So ideally, you want someone who knows you well, and they also know something about your business. Because first of all, if they have to know you well to be able to refer you to someone they know, right? To give their stamp of approval. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you were saying that through a referral, you can also get a better client for yourself. Like you said, maybe, you said like 2/3 of the time a salesperson spends usually on maybe prospects that don't go anywhere. And this way you can get, I guess, better prospects as well, right? So also the person that recommended you to someone else, they must also know your business a bit better so that they can connect you with the right prospect, right? So
exactly, you got it right.
Okay, and I mean that sounds
Perfect.
really, really good and ideal. But like, how do you get to that point? Because I mean, maybe I'm a new salesperson, or maybe, even if I could have experience in sales, but not in this industry. So, and building a network can take time, right? So I don't know.
Right.
Are there any steps people can take?
Right. Good point. A good question. Well, typical assumption is that I am only allowed to ask for introductions to my clients because they are the only ones who know what I do. They only ones to they already trust me. They understand the value that we deliver. But that's, I think, the first kind of misunderstanding here. What we teach in this course is that the first rule is do not rule anyone out from your referral sources list. I tell you a story. When I was with the translation technology provider a couple of years ago, I used to serve language service providers with this technology. And basically, first, I didn't adopt the referral selling at all. And second, I wasn't talking about what I do with my closest people. For instance, in this case, family members. And during one family gathering, I met my father's cousin, whom I never met, actually. That was for the first time in my life. And I've learned that this lady is a professional translator, and she owns small translation agency in Slovakia. And I was super excited. And I'm like, how this can be? Like, we have in a family owner of a translation agency. I am here selling a translation platform to the agencies, and how could I miss this chance to serve my auntie, right? So the problem is that I ruled out of my list of referral sources my father. And really what we teach in this course is to really have at least 3 different categories of people we know, or 3 spheres of people in our life. So first are definitely clients. Second are people from our professional life, let's say ex-colleagues, former clients from previous jobs, previous companies, maybe association members, industry peers, even vendors. So really anybody whom we met during our throughout our careers. And typical third category is our personal life. And really here can be our mates from school, our friends, our mates from the let's say sport clubs, even best friends, or even family members, as it was in my case. So really the first rule is to do not rule out anyone out of your list of referral sources, and have this constantly filled. And really what's important here is not to think of how well these people are connected to maybe the industry, or how well these people match your profile of ideal client, but really the first criteria is what is the type of relationship that I have with this person. If this is somebody whom I can call, I can pick up the phone and call and ask for help, this is a really good referral source. And again, this person doesn't need to have anything to do with the language services industry.
That is a really, really good tip. And I agree. We often, we tend to have this like tunnel vision in general, right? That now in this case, we look at our industry and just the industry. But another thing also to always keep in mind, I think, is that, well, our industry, it technically touches upon all other industries. This is something we say a lot at NIMSY, and it's true, So in that sense,
exactly.
you also don't just need to look at, of course, associations are a great source. But if you don't know any translators, you don't have any in your family, and you're not part of an association yet, well, step 1 would be join one if you can. And, but even if you don't, like, people who work, like, in any other kind of business, that is also going global, or either they're already global or they're thinking about it. Well, that already sounds like they might have a need for translation services. So of course you can also consult on the side of the buyers, or like different sides. So I guess in this sense you can also broaden your horizon, right? It doesn't need to be that you know a translation company. You can know someone in the automotive industry or in the legal sector, or anywhere really.
Exactly. And this is a nice segue to really the ingredients that we need, because often, as I mentioned, we should definitely include people who have nothing to do with the language services industry, but definitely can be a great source of referrals. Now, we need really two things for asking for a referral here. First is a business reason. Mm-hmm. Why we are willing to be introduced to somebody, and the second, who do we want to meet? Who is our ideal client profile? Our ultimate job here is to help the referral source to think of somebody. The typical mistake is when asking for a referral is basically coming unprepared to the meeting. Referral selling, as I said, it's simple but not easy. You really have to have something prepared, and you have to really even pick the right words when asking for a referral, set up the right tone of voice, and come with the right mindset. Right. But really, the two ingredients that that are essential is knowing what my business impact is, how my clients benefit from what I do. So ultimately, it's not about the service that we do, or how great a customer support we have, or fantastic project management, or ISO certifications, or AI-powered solutions. It's not about that. It's about how my clients benefited from what I do. So ideally, we should, when talking to referral source, we should introduce what we do through the story, how my clients benefited. And this takes preparation. And of course, in the online course, I'm providing some guidance how to develop this. Another ingredient, the second ingredient, is knowing by heart who you want to meet, who is your ideal client. Without that, it's going to be very difficult for the referral source to think of somebody, and they would tend to say, "Hey, let me think about it later." But if you come to the meeting prepared and say specifically, "Hey, I'm looking to meet a company in this specific region, in this specific industry, and this is my buyer persona. It's a let's say a marketing manager with this type of personality who is looking to implement innovative solutions, at the same time looking to expand into new markets. And this is somebody who I want to meet." It's going to be much easier for somebody than to think of such person. There is a one hack that I suggest. If still your referral source can't think of anybody, then it's also good to look into their LinkedIn and see how they are connected, whom they are connected with, and come to the meeting with a couple of names that you would suggest. If this person can introduce you, yes, because they're connected, and it doesn't mean that they have really good relationship, but still,
it can be a door opener.
It's worth trying. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And also sometimes you might not even, maybe, like you said, if someone comes to me with a fairly non-specific request, I might not even think of the right person that I have in my network, even though I am connected with them. But if you come to me and say like, "Hey, I see you're connected with this and this person, that would be really useful for me for this and this, what I'm looking for," then I might go like, "Yeah, I'm happy to make an introduction." That's
exactly
much easier.
It works almost 100% time. If somebody who you have a good relationship with, you're even friends maybe, why would they say no? Exactly. They know that you have And that's why the trust is so important element in the referral selling. Without that, nobody would sell their trust for $10 Starbucks voucher, right? Because
Yes.
they know you, they trust you, they know you're reliable, and they know you have a good intentions. Then there is no reason to say no for when asking for introductions.
And I wanted to come back to something that you said earlier that, I didn't want to interrupt the flow you had going because there was so much good stuff going on there. But you were mentioning also that you want to be going to this meeting prepared so you can ask the right questions and say the right things, because I'm thinking that even if you have a very good contact, whether that's someone you just know very well from the industry or another industry, or even someone in your family, first of all, I would say you don't want to overuse their trust and their contact, right? If it's not essential. And also that, even if someone really likes you and knows you well and they want to help you, they might not nobody gives their stamp of approval that easily for just anything, right? So this whole idea of you have to have a reason as well, no matter how well you know somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd say that's an important element, no?
Yes. There is also one important aspect to consider when asking for a referral, and that is never ask for a referral in a written form. Referral selling is really the most personal way of selling. It's the most personal way of asking for help, and the best practice is to invite your referral source to the meeting, let's say for 15-20 minutes, to discuss referrals. Also, the best practice is not to hide that reason why you want to meet. It's good to be honest at the beginning and say, hey, our business is doing well, but our strategy has shifted recently, and we are looking to meet new clients that we really can deliver the highest possible value. And we are looking to meet these clients through warm introductions. And so can I ask you for help? I know you're well connected. So can we meet tomorrow for 15 minutes and I will introduce what we do and who I'm looking for to help you to think of somebody. So the best practice is really to have that conversation face to face. As I said, it's very personal, and you want to assure that person in that meeting that you have first really good business reason why they should introduce you, and so that person knows that their connection is in the good hands with you.
Yeah.
And also another best practice is to once you receive the introduction, it's good to basically keep the referral source in the loop and keep them updated on how the relationship is evolving, whether the deal is happening. Because in the end of the day, that referral source is enabling new value creation, right? So that, and actually, this is also how we should look at asking for referrals. Many people fear asking, but if we reframe that and look at it as an opportunity that we are giving to referral source to basically help connect two sides, buyer and seller, and create new value, new transaction, new relationship, that certainly is, I think, worth it. Worth trying for the referral source.
Make it mutually beneficial.
Exactly.
And you mentioned there as well that ideally you want to have this meeting face to face. And of course, you can guess what I'm going to ask next, right? Because in the last year and a half, it's been very challenging to meet face to face. So, I mean, of course, I would reckon it's not impossible to do this virtually over the phone. Or you said not to do it in written form, but I guess people can. Then if you don't have the option to meet face to face, you maybe call someone on the phone or you invite them to a video call. Is that was it more challenging, or is it more challenging to do referral selling during a pandemic, or not so much? Are there other ways to overcome this as well, or compensate for, there's a serious lack of, I was going to say a lack of conferences, but that's not true. We had a lot of virtual conferences, but these really face-to-face conferences. So what is the effect on like referral selling and getting into that game
Good question. And I think now is better time than ever before to adopt referral selling. The thing is that everybody is online, home, working, and although we are meeting in the same online room, the thing is that it's difficult to catch people on the phone. It's difficult to break through those hundreds of emails that we have or buyers have in their inboxes, and really it's time for salespeople to differentiate, or it's time for the companies to differentiate not only with their unique value proposition or their product or service, but really the value proposition is also formed by the way you sell, the way you approach your customer, your potential customer. And referral selling is one of the ways how to differentiate yourself, because unfortunately, according to HubSpot, only 5% of companies have a formal referral selling strategy where they have defined the objectives, the skills, the metrics, and where they hold people accountable for results. So there is a huge potential for companies to adopt referral selling and differentiate themselves, the way they sell, the way they approach prospective clients. Now, when it comes to being in online space, this is completely fine. Asking for referral, when I said face-to-face, the online meetings, just like we have,
like
that's absolutely well. It's absolutely fine. This is still online, real-time conversation. Exactly. Make sure you have your camera on. Make it more personal.
Exactly.
And but the point is that why it doesn't work, or why it's tricky to ask for a referral in a written form, is that first, it may be just too long a message to explain the business reason, to explain who your ideal client is, right? And still, it's not. There is this personal touch that is missing, that is building or assuring the referral source that you are that this is the right thing to do. So
plus, I imagine also for them to get back to you, it's a lot more laborious. At least that's the way it's for me. Like, I mean, I know people say like, oh, so many calls, but I also don't mind occasionally writing a very long email, but it takes me a while before I write a very long email back, and sometimes so it's like, keep putting it off until, not for too long, of course, you still respond in time, but it is definitely, if it's not super urgent, at like the bottom of my list of tasks, because other things need to go first, Whereas if someone says, hey, do you have 15 minutes for a phone call? And I'm thinking like, yeah, no problem,
Absolutely. Well, think of your friends when you need something. Would you be writing 100 lines message on WhatsApp? No, you just pick the phone and call them. Yeah. Exactly. So it's the same mindset. You quickly ask whether they're available for a quick chat, and mention honestly that you need help with meeting new clients, new potential clients, and very important, also one of the best practices, some people may not feel comfortable, although they're your friends or they are very close to you. So it's also good to leave a note in the end of the message or the invitation to the call to say that you will not take it personally if they decide not to introduce you. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. So help them also. Not to feel bad if they don't feel like doing any introductions, right? So I think
so you don't ruin the relationship by making things awkward.
Exactly. Just use your empathy, and it's actually very, very natural. It's really asking for help, and people like to help in general, and people are good. That's the assumption here, and allow them to do good.
Yeah, we all get by with a little help from our friends, no?
Exactly.
Okay, well, Marek, any last words, or is there anything we haven't touched upon yet? Because I feel like for me, this was super educational. I did not think that selling could be so fascinating. I'm just going to be honest, because again, I'm not a salesperson, I know sales is super important, and I know sales gets shit done, and I respect the salespeople out there. It sounds like a very tough job. I just didn't expect that there was so much that I could get so into it as well. And I felt like I got really into it the last 20 minutes or so that we talked. So this is really cool. I would encourage anyone to sign up to your course on our website. This is just a very quick reminder here on the Nimdzi website. Under Nimdzi Learning and e-learning courses, you will find Marek's course for referral selling. If you're interested, it's live on the website now. Marek, anything we haven't discussed, any wrap up?
Any wrap up? I really would like to encourage everybody, especially sales professionals from our industry, to really dive into this. It's a fascinating topic, and certainly prospecting technique worth trying. And I'm here available for the consultation. Feel free to take the course or attend the workshop. Actually, I love giving these workshops in person, because we also share insights. There are typically other people who have experience with referral selling, and it's also so nice to hear from others. So
and we're back to the
not saying I know it all. Exactly. I'm not saying I know it all, but this is something which fascinates me, and there is so much more that I could speak about. Maybe one last thing, why this is worth trying, because there is over 70% win rate,
wow,
or converting the prospect to the client. And these people typically have 40 or more percent retention rate. So really, this is something, the numbers speak for themselves. So I really encourage everybody to look into this and connect with me, either by email, LinkedIn, and I'm happy to also hear from you what your experience is with the referral selling, and happy to exchange insights.
Yeah, wow.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much for joining. I really, really enjoyed this talk. And yeah, wow, 70% is quite the number. And I can tell you're really passionate about this. You're really knowledgeable about this. And well, I already had fun as well. And again, I'm not even a salesperson, so I'm sure your course will also be entertaining on top of being interesting. So yeah, I'd encourage anyone to take it, or to reach out to Marek, or you can always reach out to me as well, and I will refer you to any of my colleagues. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, Marek. This was really cool. And I'll see the rest of you next Monday.
Thank you, Sarah, and thanks for referring me. Is that it?